Hello, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and just a quick heads up, and I'm going to do it here because I may not get around to emailing everyone because you're not on my traditional database list. And also that means I can't send out mass emails either because it would just be going through the Virgin Media pipe, and they don't like that sort of thing. So this is an offer for a £650 saving for my video webinar training that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. So what I will do is I'll put the link into the, let me do that now, the link into the conversation thread, so that is there for anyone who wants to have a look. And so the way this is going to work, and this was an idea from a few people who were at the PhotoReading Workshop this weekend, and I was telling them about the video webinar training and maybe transitioning from doing the live workshops, and so many of them, to doing some of the video webinar training. And they were saying what a great idea for people to be able to refresh the class. If they've already trained with me, this is a special offer for my delegates. So if you've already trained with me, for some of you, I have sent you the email already. So that'll be in your email inbox. And you just use go to the site that's in the comments thread of this video, enter the promo code that I have just emailed over to you. And then that means that you can refresh the class, because I already know that you have got your course materials. So somewhere, I'm sure you'll recognize these. Let me just refresh your memory. So somewhere you will already have your course materials. So you will have the photo reading book, you will have the photo reading playbook, you'll have the paraliminal CDs, you will have the tips and insights CD, and you'll have the handouts. If you've kept them in your green wallet, maybe, but you'll have the handouts. And if not, I'll be sending the handouts out again so that people have them. But you basically have your material. Also, because you've trained with me, I already know that you've got your photo reading certificate. And this is what it's about, because when you have attended a photo reading workshop, you get a lifetime refresher certificate, which means you can retake the class free of charge whenever you like, wherever you like, as many times as you like. So if you really wanted to, you could go to a photo reading workshop every weekend. I don't know if you really want to do that, but what this means is there's a lifetime refresher certificate. So for those of you who have trained with me in the past, if you would like to take part in my video webinar training, let me find the details for you. So this is it here. It's taking place from the 26th to the 28th of November, so the end of this month if you're watching it in real time. Similar-ish format to this in terms of you'll be watching me on video, but the key difference is it's not on Facebook Live. It's on my kind of private video webinar platform. So you'll be able to see me on video. So I'll be demonstrating everything that we're doing, just like you would in a regular classroom. There'll also be the PowerPoint slides on display. So you will go through all of the course materials. You'll also have all of the handouts. And for those of you who are booking the virtual training, you'll also have a PDF of the course materials. You'll be able to download MP3s of the paraliminal CD and the tips and insights CD. So you'll kind of have all of the material. There's a chat room facility, much like you'd expect, that you're used to now with Facebook Live. And there's also the facility to open your microphone if you wanted to ask questions on the day. And there's also a facility to switch on your webcam. And so we can be interacting in real time, either via the chat, via your microphone, or via your webcam. And it also means that you can be anywhere in the world. So it doesn't now rely on you being able to get to the United, get yourself to Watford. And actually, to be honest with you, there are people in the UK who go, oh, Watford. I mean, it's only 20 minutes from London Euston, and it's a 5-minute walk from Watford Junction Station. So it is very easy to get to, but not particularly easy if you're out in Australia, if you're in America, across Europe. So this is a much easier way for you to participate in the whole 2.5-day photo reading workshop and do it from the comfort of your own home. So if you're a previous delegate, if you're a previous attendee, then check your email inbox. However, I know I'm not going to be emailing all of you because I have no idea you know, where those lists are. I've changed machines loads of times since then, and I wasn't always using MailChimp. And actually everybody that I've trained with doesn't automatically go onto MailChimp. You have to opt in. And so the chances are that if you trained with me 15 or 16 years ago, I will not be emailing you. Actually, even if you trained 10 years ago, I probably won't be emailing you either. So I'm going to go through the ones that I've got to hand that are easy to find. I have to send them in tiny little batches so that I don't upset my ISP. So if you haven't had an email and you have attended a photo reading workshop with me and you would like to refresh taking part in the video webinar workshop, then drop me an email, Marilyn, M-A-R-I-L-Y-N, at transformationstm.com. So T-R-A-N-C-E, F for Freddie, O-R-M-A-T-I-O-N-S, TM as in trademark. So Marilyn at transformationstm.com. Drop me an email, remind me when you did your class. If it has been like, you know, 15, 16 years ago, the chances are I will remember. However, if you do have your certificate to hand, because I normally do go to the trouble of putting them in a big frame. So if you do have your certificate to hand, you know, just take a photo, send me a photograph of it. That will be really handy. It just kind of makes the whole process quicker. But if it's been in the last few years, and of course, if I'm the one who's emailed you about it, then just click the link, enter the promo code, and it will take £650 off of the price of that training. So if you wanted to join me for the refresher, that's the way to do it. How about those who have a certificate from the USA? Hi, Nathan. I have literally just phoned Learning Strategies, grabbed the number off the back of their book, left a message for Pete. I'm going to drop him an email just to see if that would be okay. I think it probably will be, because the refresher certificate is open to everyone. This price is one that I'm kind of doing for my delegates, but I'm going to drop Pete an email just to double check, because you know, the idea is you can book on the webinar from anywhere in the world, and so logically speaking the same would hold true for refresher. So a tentative yes, and I'm just going to double check with Learning Strategies and just kind of see if that's okay, as well as people joining from all over the world, if I can apply the same rule, because of course the refresher certificate really traditionally is about actual workshops, and this is the first time that anyone has ever run a video webinar version of the training. So I'm assuming the same rules would apply. The same rules are definitely going to apply for my attendees, and I'm guessing it would be the same for global attendees around the world, even if they haven't trained with me. So a provisional yes, and I'm just going to double check that with Pete as well, and just kind of make sure that's okay. Hey Rose, how are you? Thank you for popping by. So yes, it is a very cool idea, and it vaguely the thought had vaguely crossed my mind. However, I've been, I've been doing some speaking engagements, and I've been kind of writing and designing trainings, and actually delivering the first of the video webinar trainings. I did the first one week before last, the Practitioner Insider Secrets workshop. Just gearing up for the actual photo reading workshop that I finished on Sunday. If you're watching this in real time, today's Tuesday. And while I was there on Sunday, the delegates were saying what a brilliant idea for us to be able to refresh the training in a few years' time if we really wanted to. And I thought, actually, that is a really good idea. So when I get a minute, I'll email some of the previous attendees and see if they're up for it. Hello, Sita, a wave coming back to you. So yes, if you're a previous attendee, if you've attended my photo reading workshop and you have your certificate, or it's near enough in the last 5 or 6 years that I'll go, yeah, of course, then drop me an email if you haven't received the email from me, and I will send you the promo code. So you go to the events frame page. The link for that is in the conversation thread of this video. After the video, I'll also put it into the description as well. So go to the events frame page. And so what you have to do is you have to click 1 at the top one to attend the workshop. Just put in the number of places, which I presume will be 1, unless you're gifting a place to someone. Feel free to do that too. Then when you do that, it will automatically, if you're on a PC, on the right hand side, it then brings you up the box and says enter your promo code. So you put the code in there. if you're on a mobile device, I think it puts it at the top of the screen, but either way, you'll see a green box that says enter promo code. You put that code in, the one I've been emailing out to a few people this evening, and then it will reduce the price by £650, and it means you can join me for the online webinar that's taking place at the end of this month. So hope that's all super clear. Any questions, any queries, drop me an email or put a note in the thread. And yeah, we will go from there. If you've previously taken my photo reading class and you want to refresh the 2.5 days and do it using a bit of technology from wherever you are, that'll be super cool. So, you know, and also if you are, let's see, outside of that, my suggestion would be go to my main website, which is www.transformationstm.com/photo reading. So go to my main website. There's always a big red button on there which links you to the Eventbrite page, which is secretofphotoreading.eventbrite.com. And if you click on that, that's where you'll kind of see dates if I'm running another live workshop. And that's where I've also put a link for the events frame page as well. So you can also go to my main website, click the big red button which says click here for dates and early booking prices. So you'll see whatever's coming up next, but there is also a link there at the moment for the online video webinar training. So keep an eye on the main website or the Eventbrite page for the updates, because the events frame link is a little bit of a mouthful. That's why I've just posted it in the thread. I will do, Nathan, I will notify you ASAP when I speak to them and just double check. But again, it should be, because it's a, you know, regular photo reading training, it's a global training. But yes, I will double check. I will most certainly let you know. So if you are a previous attendee, you want to save yourself a bit of money, actually a bit of £50 is actually quite a lot of money. The offer for this is available to the end of this week. So the promo code is set up to run until the end of this week. So if you wanted to do that, click the link, enter the promo code, book yourself on, and then what I will do is I'll send you the webinar details. And it is going to ask you to register, and it looks as though it's asking you for the full price. But what you have to do, I will send you a code that you can put in the webinar ID, and when you put that in, it bypasses that and it kind of just lets you in, because obviously you're booking off system via another platform. But you know, I'll sort that all out and I'll explain in the email how to do it. So yeah, if you want to join me for the video, and if you're not a previous attendee but you want to join the video webinar, then use the link in the conversation thread. You can book your place, and that takes place at the end of this month if you're watching this in real time. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to be running another. And I'm also actually looking at the whole idea and concept of, you know, what I'm going to do next year for photo reading trainings. Probably going to run a lot less of them. I might even have a little break from running them. But, you know, I'll see kind of, you know, once I've had a chance to sit down at the end of this year and just evaluate the year. And for those of you, actually, while we're on the subject, in terms of final opportunities to do the training, if you are in the Bath, Bristol, or Somerset area, then I'm possibly running a photo reading training in Bristol. You will also find details for that on the Eventbrite page, and I've also set up one called Bristol Photo Reading Workshop .eventbrite.com, and so you have until the end of the month if you wanted to book on that. There isn't a date at the moment. What I'm going to do is the people who have booked, I will then get them to choose the date so that of course everyone can attend, and then from there I'll put the dates out to the public. So that will be an opportunity to definitely attend another photo reading workshop. But then I'll kind of announce kind of later on in the year if I'm going to be running another photo reading workshop next year, and if I'm going to be doing another of the webinars. But if you would like to join us, end of this month is definitely when there is one happening, and then we'll see what happens thereafter. So thank you for watching. If you know anyone who would, you know, benefit from attending the photo reading training, then feel free to share this video. Feel free to share the links with them. It has been actually, I think it's still here actually. Yes, it is. I just did a webinar earlier where I was talking about having a teenager attend the photo reading workshop this weekend. He didn't want to attend, didn't want to leave the house. He also tried to lock himself in the car so he didn't have to attend. And that was on the Friday and the Saturday. By the Sunday, he was saying that and for him, reading was a boring and a waste of time. That's how he described it. So imagine being dragged along as a 13-year-old to do a whole weekend workshop on reading. And by Sunday, he was saying, number one, reading is not boring. It's not a waste of time. He was delighted that he's learned a skill that he can use for the rest of his life. And he was also excited about teaching it, in his words, to the next generation. So that's how much of a change and transformation people can have as a result of this. I've got somebody who's watching this who's just waved in the comments thread. They did my photo reading DVD training, which was just a one-day video training, plus some bonus stuff on memory and intuition, etc. Having failed an exam, they watched the one-day training and they passed and said they were calm and relaxed during the exam, and they could actually remember and see and recall their mind maps while sitting in the exam and doing that from memory. So, you know, really brilliant for people who are studying, and of course people who are, you know, kind of in business and all the rest of it. It's a wonderful way to enhance your productivity, to get a lot more done in way less time, improve your decision-making skills, your critical thinking skills, your ability to remain calm and focused when everything around you is going crazy. For those of you who are writers, oh my goodness, it just saves me so much time in terms of the writing process with the stuff that I do for newspapers and magazines, because of course they always want everything yesterday. You know, I've been photo reading for 18 years. I've been a photo reading instructor for 16 years now. I did my training in March 2002, and to this day, photo reading still surprises and delights me in terms of the number of ways it shows up in terms of enhancing and adding to my life. And I've had people do weird stuff, like, you know, taught them how to use step one of photo reading in a slightly different way. And they went from, you know, not training because they're a triathlete, not training, as they would call it, eating crap, etc., etc., and it beat their personal best, you know. So really, really, you know, everything. And I always say photo reading goes way beyond reading. And for those who often ask also, while we're on the subject about the demographics of photo reading, I've had, you know, teachers, trainers, doctors, surgeons, engineers, IT specialists, crystal healers, entrepreneurs, management consultants, right through to a team of rocket scientists attend photo reading. And, you know, in terms of the age range, the attendee that we had this weekend was 13. The youngest has been 7 years old. And I also taught photo reading in school for a while for 7-year-olds right through to the 16-year-olds and some of the sixth formers, so 16 to 18. And the most mature person I've had on my photo, I mean, I didn't like to ask, but I believe he was in his 80s. So, you know, in terms of age, in terms of demographics, it really does vary. I even had and that's why I know you can apply it to anything, because I had someone who's a maths teacher and doing a maths PhD. And he attended the photo reading workshop, and there was actually a formula that he hadn't been able to do when he did his maths degree. He wasn't able to do it when he did his master's. He was not able to do it when he was studying for his PhD. And we did the 6-month photo reading mastermind group program. So we're, you know, training and doing additional things, going into more detail with things like this in topic reading and the dream play and creative thinking and, you know, the Huna and access consciousness and all of that. And so doing some additional coaching and some of the additional exercises around that. And he photo read a book around that formula and that equation. And not only did he figure out how to do it for the first time ever, he was able to then, because he's a school teacher, he was able to then go and teach it to his students. And also in one of the mastermind groups, it's one where he rocks up, everybody rocks up and goes, oh, I haven't done much photo reading. And then we start the coaching and they're like, oh my God, I've done loads, because they didn't even realize how powerfully it had been working. Because that's the thing, we want it to be part of your daily life. And he'd never been able to do the Rubik's Cube as a child. You know, the cube with all the colors? And he photo read a book on how to do the Rubik's Cube and did it like 5 times in a row, just so you can use it in all sorts of ways. And that one for me was lovely, because it's like, wow, you know, you really can use it for anything, whether it's learning languages. The teenager this weekend was delighted that he'd learned 5 new things about chemistry and 3 new things that he didn't know about geography. And, you know, the lawyers, I haven't got the quote here to hand, but shared it with a group at the weekend. And it was, he's a barrister and head of chambers. And, you know, he's saying, you know, when you're in court, preparation is key. And he was saying it's like having a computer in his head, that he just thinks of the information that he needs and it just shows up. So it's like his own personal Google. And he's one of the most detail orientated people that I know. So, you know, massively impressive in terms of detail. And I know when he came to the photo reading workshop, probably about 5 years ago now, on the Friday night, so the first evening, he went home to go through some court papers. He said it normally takes him about 45 minutes just to read the summary. And within 20 minutes, he'd been through the whole document and had a working knowledge of what it was all about. So massive in terms of time saving, you know, then being able to get the level of detail as well, which is sufficient to stand up in court, is amazing. So really, possibilities are endless. It definitely goes way beyond photo reading, because you will know if you've already attended that people's entire lives change in terms of, you know, letting go of old blockages, old limiting beliefs, the way they perceive themselves as a learner. You know, somebody was saying, let me see if I've got it here actually, which was really lovely. The way she described it was about her spark. Where was it? Oh yeah, so she said, it's renewed my spark and curiosity for reading, which was just lovely. Somebody else had said, which was that one, this course is a life changer. And she's kind of works for an organization, and she says, don't hesitate, sign up now, exclamation mark. And what she liked best about it was the way the system is so accessible and adaptable and can be applied in so many ways. And it absolutely totally can. Oh, this is one from the mum. She says, I won't say his name, but I think my son has found a great way of improving his skill set, which is lovely, and he totally has. So, you know, we were all inspired by the 13-year-old, but also doubly, you know, I'm inspired by everyone that comes to photo reading, because there are always these incredible, wonderful breakthroughs. So if you want to join us for the webinar training, the video webinar training, then, you know, drop me an email if you haven't had an email from me, because as I said, I'm not going to get round to everyone. So I'm just looking at these. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to get round to everyone, but for those of you who are going, yeah, got mine, that's cool. But if you haven't, drop me an email. I'll send you the promo code, which will take £650 off the price. Cool. Well, fabulous. Thank you so much for watching. I really look forward to working with you, and I can say that confidently now, because it doesn't rely on you having to come to the UK and come to Watford, which I think is amazing. So yeah, I will catch you all later. Actually, what I'll do, I'll also put my email into